You heard Katie Wright say, white woman tears trump it all. They trump everything. She's obviously talking about Kim Potter crying, and she went on to say, I thought my white woman tears would be enough. Your reaction to that statement, does she have a point here?
I think she does have a point. I mean, anyone who kills someone is going to be remorseful. The question is, where does that true remorse come from? Our justice system is very fragmented, and unfortunately, people, if you come from a certain neighborhood, sometimes you're convicted at a higher rate. So it was interesting that as a white woman, she's saying because she has a black son, justice does not apply equally to her.
On the flip side, though, we saw during the sentencing, Judge Chu outlined the reasons why she was departing downward. She could have given Kim Potter probation. She didn't believe that was appropriate. So the sentence is falling somewhere in between what she could have done, which was probation, and the 7 years or even more. She could have departed upward, but she didn't feel that those aggravating factors had been proven or existed in this case. So do you think that the sentence, as a criminal defense attorney, if you had been representing Kim Potter, do you think that this is a fair sentence?
Well, if I'm representing Kim Potter, then I'm happy with the sentence. Essentially, you do have to look at the mitigating factors, right? She had no criminal record. She did show remorse on the stand. As far as I understand, that this is really a first occurrence for her, and it's not likely to something that she's going to repeat. On the family side, it doesn't take away the loss. It doesn't take away the hurt. It doesn't take away the fact that the justice system seems to favor one side over the next. But if I'm representing Kim Potter, I do think it's fair. I think it would have been inappropriate for her to have just gotten simply probation with no jail time. But we're talking about 2 years here. From what I understand, a third of that would be supervised released. If I'm representing her, I think it's a fair outcome.
And Judge Chu did outline the reasons why. She went through the 4 factors that incarceration is supposed to address. Those are rehabilitation, incapacitation, retribution. And there was one more that I'm forgetting here. And really, they said she doesn't have a danger of reoffending. Judge Chu said that. She was a law-abiding citizen until this happened. And, she didn't have any marks on her record. So Judge Chu felt that this was an appropriate case. She actually compared it to Derek Chauvin's case. She said, this is not a case where a cop, kneeled on someone's neck for 9 minutes as they gasped for air and murdered them. She said, this wasn't a murder. This was a manslaughter. So I found it interesting that she addressed that when trying to explain her decision. What were your thoughts about that, Stephen?
I think the judge is well within her province to compare the 2 cases. Essentially, those are the factors that are involved. Is this somebody that's likely to reoffend? Is she even going to have access to a weapon once she is done serving her sentence? Does she have a propensity for violence? Or is this just something that took place in the spare of the moment? So those are all factors that a judge can consider. And I think the judge, within her province, fairly and adequately sentenced Ms. Potter.